Hey there, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into understanding ourselves and the world around us. And sometimes we just dive into a cozy blanket. Today we're talking about something that resonates with millions of people: introversion. Or as I like to call it, the art of dodging small talk. But here's the kicker: not all introverts are the same. Surprise! In fact, there are 4 distinct types of introverts. Yes, 4. Like the seasons, but with less sunshine. So, which one are you? Let's find out. Spoiler alert, there's no wrong answer. First things first, let's bust a myth. Being an introvert doesn't mean you're shy or antisocial. It just means you have a PhD in avoiding awkward conversations. Introversion is about where you draw your energy from. Spoiler, it's not from crowded parties. Introverts recharge by spending time alone, but there's so much more nuance to it. Like a fine wine, but with more books. And thanks to psychologist Jonathan Cheek and his colleagues, we now know there are 4 primary types of introverts. Yes, science is on our side. All right, let's break it down. Grab your favorite blanket and let's get cozy. The first type is the social introvert. Social introverts enjoy spending time with close friends or family, but prefer smaller, more intimate gatherings over big crowds. Think of them as the kind of people who'd rather have a cozy game night at home than go to a loud party. Because who needs a DJ when you have Monopoly? And let's be honest, who wouldn't choose board games and snacks over trying to shout over music that's louder than a jet engine? Plus, snacks don't judge your dance moves. Research suggests that social introverts often have higher emotional intelligence as they deeply value meaningful connections. And they know the best hiding spots at parties. They're excellent listeners and tend to form deep, long-lasting friendships. They're basically friendship ninjas. And let's not forget their superpower sneaking out of a party without anyone noticing. It's like they have an invisibility cloak. If this sounds like you, drop a comment saying Team Cozy. We promise not to tell anyone. Just don't ghost us afterward, okay? We'll miss you. Next up, we have thinking introverts. These are the daydreamers and deep thinkers. They spend a lot of time in their own heads, reflecting on life, exploring ideas, and analyzing situations. You know, the kind of people who stare out the window and look like they're solving the mysteries of the universe. Spoiler alert. They're probably just wondering what's for dinner. Thinking introverts aren't necessarily shy or avoidant. They simply have a rich inner world. A study in the journal Personality and Individual Differences found that this type is often linked to high levels of creativity and self-awareness. Thinking introverts tend to be visionaries, the kind of people who can sit quietly and imagine entire worlds or solutions to complex problems. They're drawn to artistic or intellectual pursuits and often excel in fields like writing, philosophy, or design, or as their friends like to call it, being lost in the sauce. The downside? They can sometimes get so lost in their thoughts that they forget what they were doing, like walking into a room and having no idea why you're there. Relatable, right? Next up, we have anxious introverts. This type might feel like they're auditioning for a horror movie every time they enter a social situation, even with familiar faces. It's not just about loving alone time, it's about feeling like a deer in headlights in larger groups or unfamiliar settings. Or as I like to call it, the "oh no, did I just say something weird?" syndrome. Interestingly, this anxiety often turns them into empathy ninjas, sensing emotions like a superhero. Anxious introverts can be incredibly compassionate because they're so attuned to others' emotions. They're like emotional Wi-Fi. They're also master planners, always ready with a plan A, B, and C. Seriously, if there's an apocalypse, you're going to want an anxious introvert on your team. They'll have backup plans for their backup plans. Zombie invasion? No problem. They've got a spreadsheet for that. If you find yourself replaying past conversations or worrying about what could go wrong, you're not alone. Welcome to the club. Just remember, your ability to overthink everything makes you a low-key genius. Embrace it. So, the next time you're overthinking, just know you're basically a mental Olympian. Finally, we have the restrained introverts. These individuals move at their own pace. Think of them as the tortoises of the personality world. They're thoughtful and deliberate in their actions and decisions. You won't catch them rushing into anything, unless it's a sale on their favorite books. Imagine someone who takes a while to warm up to new people or situations, but becomes deeply invested once they're comfortable. Like a slow-cooking stew, they need time to reach their full flavor. Or as I like to say, they're the slow cookers of the personality world. Just don't expect them to microwave their emotions. Restrained introverts are often seen as dependable and grounded. They're the human equivalent of a weighted blanket. Their cautious nature helps them avoid rash decisions, and they're usually the voice of reason in a group. Think of them as the designated driver of social interactions. These introverts are the ones who value routines and consistency. They probably have a favorite pen and a backup favorite pen. They might prefer to plan their day meticulously rather than act on impulse. Spontaneity? What's that? Sure, it might take them a while to get going in the morning, but once they do, they're unstoppable. Like a sloth on a caffeine rush. Like a train that takes its time leaving the station, but then barrels down the track at full speed. Choo-choo, here comes productivity. If you're someone who likes to take your time before diving into new experiences, you might just be a restrained introvert. And that's perfectly okay. Rome wasn't built in a day. And hey, slow and steady wins the race, right? Just ask the tortoise. So there you have it. Social, thinking, anxious, and restrained introverts. Each type is unique and valuable in its own way. The beauty of this framework is that it reminds us introversion isn't one size fits all. Now it's your turn. Which type of introvert are you? Or maybe you're a mix of a few. Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up and share it with a fellow introvert. Or even an extrovert, they need to understand us too. Let's celebrate our uniqueness together. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious, stay kind, and remember, even introverts need to recharge their Wi-Fi. See you in the next video. Bye.